What's up, Ivan?
How you doing, Joy Borrero?
Right now, bro, just chilling, enjoying training camp. That's it.
What, what's the date?
July 19th in Puerto Rico at the Mario Quijotes Morales, the Coliseum.
Okay, so in that case, I want to get your thoughts with Subriel Matias. Your thoughts.
Oof, man. I just, in all honesty, and I've been saying it in other podcasts too, his punch output wasn't what it needed to be. We hear from Panda his his trainer. We heard him what he said in the interview. He said that he was so focused on the knockout, he wasn't throwing what they were asking him to throw. They were telling him to be more active, to throw combos, to be busy to the body. And he was just so focused on getting the knockout. In my opinion, I feel like the pressure of him having my uncle being back in his hometown, got to him. And not just that, but before he came out, he didn't just have one ring entrance music. He had two performers performing the song, and right there and then you can already see that there wasn't a focus in the fight. He thought that maybe he was gonna make Liam Paro quit, or maybe he was gonna get him out early. If Subriel Matias wouldn't have given up those first 4 rounds, later on in the rounds, we started noticing that Liam was getting hurt, but he was Liam was just moving too much, outboxing him, and he knew that he was gonna take him into deep waters to the scorecards. You know what I mean? They called him the boogeyman of the division, so he knew that there was power there, but at the same time, you can't do anything with power if you can't land it, and that's what Liam Paro showed us with a great boxing ability, great boxing skill. Like Subriel Matias was following me. We did a shout out for him, man. I gave him nothing but love. Even after the loss, gave him positive words. I don't know. He unfollowed me on Instagram, hasn't been talking to me lately. So I don't know what's going on. But hey, man, if he has something personal, he needs to handle it himself because I've just been speaking facts. You know what I mean? Facts of what everybody's been asking me.
So is it true that some fighters uh, want yes man around?
That's what I believe. A lot of fighters want yes, man. And
So you mentioned Tito
uh-huh.
being side. That could have been a factor. It could have been too much pressure. And I actually thought the same thing when I saw Tito ringside. I thought this might be a lot of pressure.
you know, because you got to remember, you got the greatest fighter in Puerto Rican history there ringside. You're trying to look good. You're trying to prove you're an IBF champion too. You're trying to prove Puerto Rico that's who you want to be, like the guy that wants to be there. And that pressure was a lot, man. you know, a lot of pressure for him to handle, and that was kind of tough, bro. Like I said, Liam Paro just did what he had to do. He boxed him, worked angles. He worked angles to the point where you could see in the fight when Subriel had to turn at a 45-degree angle to try to see where he was because he didn't know where Liam Paro was going or what Liam Paro was just landing at will his pitter patter shots. There wasn't power to hurt Subriel, but he was just landing his boxing, imposing. And now let's not forget he was already deducted a point in the fight, and with all that, he still won a unanimous decision fight. You know what I mean? And like I gave the fight. I gave 4 rounds to Subriel out of the whole fight. um we people gave him 5 because of that 1 point from the whole thing, but he still got a 5-7, a 5-7 score. Like, it doesn't get any more clear than that. You know what I mean? Like, Subir needed to let his hands go early on in the fight, and he didn't.
Matias needed a knockout.
he was coming back like the thing is like his style is, and Ivan Calderon told me this when I was in Puerto Rico. Subriel is gonna have trouble with a boxer because he gives away for the first 4 to 3 rounds. He gives them away, and if he has somebody that can actually box and get through his pressure, he's gonna have a hard time. Next thing you know, bro, I come back out here for training camp. Next thing you know, Subriel fights in Puerto Rico, loses, and to exactly what he said. You know what I mean?
But we did talk about this in the past with Matias getting hit a lot. He gets
Yes,
hit a lot. So he didn't work on that in the gym.
exactly. And the thing is, it's not the coach's fault. Like, you can see the interview that they did with his team, and his team said it better than anybody. His team said Subriel was every round, he was looking out for the knockout. He wasn't looking out to box him. He wasn't looking out to take the body down, to slow him down, and later on in the rounds drop him. He was just straight up looking for the knockout punch.
Why is it that a lot of fighters that possess that kind of power depend on only their power?
See, that's the thing. A lot of fighters that when we got a solid hand, solid power, and we know we can hurt somebody, we can get them out. We're so used to resorting to that for the simple fact that they always tell us, don't let it go to the judges' scorecards. Because we see so much corruption right now in the scorecards with boxing. So when you know you got the power, you got the talent to take somebody out, you're going to try to depend on that. But it can also backfire against you because if you don't know how to put a box, you don't know how to box behind that power. Power is not going to be effective if you can't land it.
And it looked like Matias couldn't figure out Liam Paro's jab.
Because, like I said, just Liam Paro wasn't coming in straightforward, just throwing 1-2s or coming in and throwing a simple combo and being predictable. Liam was working angles and angles. He was coming forward with that jab, sliding and working angles. You know what I mean? He didn't stay in one place mobile. And that's what I liked about him. I can't take nothing away from Subiera. I believe he can come back. But um, but definitely, I feel like he needed to start throwing earlier on in the fight to make it to at least hurt Liam Paro later on, maybe in the ninth and 10th round, take him out. If that was his plan, that's what he needed to do. But he waited too long.
Is it just me or did Liam Paro look like Loma?
Liam Paro looked like Loma working angles, moving. His boxing wasn't as great as Lomachenko's, but he definitely worked his angles. He boxed, kept his distance, got into the thing. What I loved about it though, he wasn't afraid to stay in the pocket, bang, land his combo, and then move outside. So you would see Liam Paro land a 2 to 4 punch combination. Right after that, instead of backing up straight, he would exit out at a 45-degree angle, or he would wrap him around, grab him, and turn Subriel. And Subriel didn't know what to do about that. And that's the problem when you have a boxer that is only coming forward with pressure. If you don't know how to box and move around, you're not gonna land anything. You're not gonna be able to catch him. Like he literally, because whenever Liam Paro would turn him, looking like where the heck did this dude go? Because he did where Liam Paro went.
What do you say to those that want to see a rematch? Because I see no point in a rematch. What do you say to those?
I I do see a point in the rematch, but I see the rematch getting done in Australia. I would tell Subriel, work on your boxing, focus more on your boxing, and don't get so carried away with knocking the person out. The knockout comes by itself. You don't have to push it out there or have to bring it to the person. If you're gonna drop them and it's your night to drop them, you will.
Were you surprised that Liam Paro was able to take some of Matias' punches?
Way he came forward and he managed to stay in there for a little bit, bang, take a couple of Subriel's best shot, and even when he was hurt, he was able to buy the time to recover. That's what surprised me about Liam Paro was his recovery, the way he recovered and the skills he used to move around the ring and recover.
What were your thoughts at the end of the fight when the scorecards were taking long to come out?
I was like, man, they're gonna try to give it to Subriel or something, but because I knew when I watched the fight, I knew it. I was like, there's no way Subriel won this fight. It might be a majority decision. They might give him a decision. They might give Liam Paro a split. No way Subriel won this fight. And I wanted Subriel to win. I was rooting for Subriel. You know what I mean? But sadly, we saw what happened. We saw that from the first round, he was just getting outboxed.
So what
More of
does
a
Matias
versatile
have to
fighter.
work on?
Being able to work the angles too, being able to let his hands go and stop giving away the first 4 rounds of the fight. Stop giving them away. You know, you're not a punching bag. You're not there to take punches because somebody with power, it's going to hurt them. You know what I mean? And that might be what it takes to get them to stop doing that.
What do you think the top guys in that division, the other champions, are thinking at this moment about Matias, who was supposed to be the boogeyman?
Yeah. I mean, you definitely are gonna have Devin Haney talking smack. You're gonna have Teofimo talking smack because that's a relief for him. You know what I mean? That is a big relief for Teofimo because now he doesn't have to fight nobody that in that weight class. You know, he doesn't have food. Um, I don't see Pitbull Cruz. I le da lo mismo. He thinks the same. He's just there to fight. He's a fighter. You know what I mean? He's a name nobody expecting the draw for that. You know, we even got Alberto Puello that won the regular WBA title. You know, but we can't take it away. Like, there's still a couple of big fights to be made for Subriel Matias. Like, I would love to see Leo. I would love to see Subriel Matias fight Gary Russell Jr. Now that would be an interesting fight. Gary Russell Jr. versus Subriel Matias. You got two fighters that are coming forward all the time. You can't go wrong with a matchup like that.
In regards to Matias' entrance, ring entrance, do you think that perhaps that long ring entrance, he overlooked his opponent because he seemed very confident, overconfident in some
And
way?
that's the point. Overconfidence will do it to you. You know, when you're overconfident, there's a thing like you know the training you put in, you know what you got. You can be confident, but he just came out overconfident, and he thought that this was gonna be a walk in the park, and Liam Paro wasn't a walk in the park. You know, like he was a great boxer, and like we knew going into this fight that that was gonna be a great boxer, fighting him. You know, but the reason why I want the rematch to be in Australia, a lot of these Australian fighters they freeze up when they go back home. You know, you see it with Cambosos. Cambosos won the title, and then took them to Australia, lost the title in Australia. Fudora versus Team Suyu. Look at Team Sue. You know what I mean? Like he lost the title over there in Australia. You know, I give the Team Sue the fight with that Team Sue because he's Australian. And I give him the fact that he was gonna win if he didn't get that gash on his head because I was rooting for him. But at the end of the day, we see that they can't handle the pressure either.
Can Subriel Matias become world champion once again?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's he's done it once. He can do it again. Now, the risk is him losing another fight. That's gonna make him a gatekeeper, and we don't want Subir to be a gatekeeper.
So this loss doesn't end his career in some way.
It doesn't.
Doesn't
It
push.
doesn't end the career. There's a lot of fights to be made at 140. 140 is a stacked division right now. That there's a lot of fights to be made. There's a lot of money to be moved. So as long as you got great fighters that have a positive record, it couldn't be made in that weight class.
You're coming off a loss. You have to show the world you're back. So therefore, you know what it's like to lose
Exactly.
and
To
come back.
lose. I'm coming back from a loss, you know, in a 2 year layoff almost. You know what I mean? So it's been rough, you know, because after our loss, it was hard getting everything together, you know. But all glory to God, you know, because of Him. Because without Jesus Christ, without my Lord and Savior, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. I wouldn't have the support that I have right now. You guys, the fans that tune in, and people like you that have boxing sites that help me promote myself. That's what's getting me out there, and I plan to live up to it. You know, I'm grateful to Lightning's Boxing Club, to Lightning Lopez, David Lopez's dad. I'm grateful to him for taking me under his wings and polishing me up as a fighter. You know, because like I said, I'm coming in and I'm letting people know that at 135. I'm taking everything. You know, I'm coming for Navarrete. I'm coming for Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I'm coming for Gervonta. I'm coming for whoever is the top at 135. That's who I'm coming for, and I ain't scared of them.
You know about your opponent. What
I
can you
don't
expect from your
know. At
opponent?
this point, I don't even know who my opponent is, and at this point, I don't care. All I care about is my performance, how I'm training, and making sure that I'm working harder than him, and that's how I am. I am working harder than him. Ain't nobody gonna outwork me. And as long as I'm living, as long as God gives me strength, we're gonna make it happen.
We know you have power, but there's more than power. So what have you been working on after that loss?
Definitely my boxing ability, my defense. That's been a big thing, you know, that I've been working in my training camp, you know. But there's a lot more, you know, a lot more things that it's just one of those things that you guys are just gonna have to tune in and see. You know what I mean? I can't really say too much until you guys see it in action.
Give us the date one more time.
July 19th at the Mario Quijotes Morales in Puerto Rico.
Where can we watch this fight?
It's gonna be streamed live. They're gonna send us the link soon. So as soon as they send us the link, I'll post it. I'll send it to you. That way you can let people know that that's where they can watch the fight, or if they want to purchase the pay-per-view, they can watch it through there.
Wish you all the best in your next fight coming up, July 19th.
Yes, sir. July 19th.
In
Yes, sir. Yes,
Puerto
sir.
Rico.